Don't need that. Okay. Let me put out a tweet real quick and we'll go. So we get some people in here.
I mailed a crap ton of stuff down to Holly for this
Oh.
AP. Not a crap ton, but like a huge assortment of stuff.
At least she's down there now, so you
Thank
have someone
God.
to send stuff to. Yeah.
I know. Seriously, I talked to Steve this morning. I was sitting there and I'm like, how far is it to drive from Pittsburgh to Orlando? It's 14 hours. I thought it was like 19 or 20. It's actually only 14.
Oh, that's not terrible,
I
guess.
don't think so either. But anyways, we're flying out Wednesday morning at like 5 a.m. But
oh my God.
I know.
Oh, good luck to you.
We always take that early flight. We're
okay.
better at 5 a.m. than we are
than you are at any other time.
At 10 p.m. Like,
well, I get that.
Yeah, at least in the morning you're up and going, and
that's true.
But anyways, yes.
So my flight is to 5:20. Hey everybody, I'm getting ready to record. Hopefully.
We didn't talk about what we're doing for Friday.
Oh yeah, for Friday. Here's the deal. When you're looking for blank at Walt Disney World, and we'll throw out a word.
This is a love connection,
right?
Or
it's a match game thing or something, man.
It was that guy. When you're looking for blank, who was that? Who used to?
It is kind of match game-ish. What did Gene Rayburn used to say? It was like a lady's name. It was like Simple Sally or something like that. I can't remember. Like somebody, Dumb Dora. That's who it was. Dumb Dora was so dumb.
Oh my God.
How dumb was she? Anyway, we can't mess up because I don't know how to edit on the software, so don't screw
up.
All
right. So when you're looking for blank.
So like when you're looking, and it can be a restaurant, a hotel, a theme park. So it could be anything, an attraction.
Stubbing something else.
It's like when you're looking for romance at Walt Disney World, boom, give us something. When you're looking for energy, when you're looking for sports, when you're looking for adventure. When you're looking for sadness.
Oh.
You're looking to be sad.
Who's looking for sadness?
I don't know. I don't know.
Somebody who got dumped at Walt Disney World? I don't know.
Who knows? All right, let's try this cheap free software, which probably won't work, but we'll see.
Okay.
Anyway, this bugs me. Okay, well, I'm so uneasy right now, but I have on my Magic for Less hoodie, so here we go.
Is it a new one? Wait, I didn't even see it. Yeah.
This guy last week. That's comfy. It's comfy. It's comfy. Let's see. I'm recording at 44.1. Good. Guess just hit this red button. Feels weird because I don't know. This is the first time I've done this show without that software, so we'll see. Okay, 22:31. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2231 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week, and thanks so much, as always, for joining us here on the show. Of course, it is Wednesday, so that means it is time to answer your listener questions. That's why we're here, kicking off the month of February. Can't believe it. We're having a good time today. So joining us from the mouseforless.com, we have Ricky. Ricky, happy February.
I'm not ready for the month of February. That means I have a baby next month. So I'm not ready for February yet.
It's you're past the point of no return at this point.
I mean, I've been past the point of no return.
No turning back now.
Nope. So yeah, I mean that I'm at the point of panic time. I mean, I was at panic time before, but like now I'm really at panic time. So I don't know how to handle this. I'm just throwing that out there.
Good luck, bro. one of our famous lines from years and years ago, and it's going to be very apropos very soon.
Yes, it is. We're so good to each other.
We are. And by the way, you just reminded me, shout out, we got to get our Is This Romantic plug in because that show is coming up away. So please let us know on the social media, hashtag Is This Romantic 2023. Give us some suggestions. You know what? We have new experiences, right? We have Tron, is there something romantic going on over there? What about Mickey D's Runaway Railway? We got some surf at Disneyland. I don't know.
Yes, maybe
dinner and a light cycle. I don't know. Ask, and we will rate everything on Is This Romantic 2023. But somebody who's always romantic, she's got the most awesome husband in the world. They're the greatest couple ever. Pam Forrester, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel.
Best husband ever!
What's up, Pam?
Wow. Yeah. Steve getting the big shot. We can't keep saying that.
I'm excited. I haven't seen Steve in like 7 years, so it'll be good to see.
It's not been 7 years, but
feels like
yes, I know. Yeah. So we will be, of course, in Orlando or Florida, at least, whenever Valentine's Day rolls around. I know, right? So
that's exciting.
Anyways, it'll be good. Yeah, we haven't spent Valentine's Day there in a few years, but I actually should do it more often because it's horrible here in February. So all good. But yes, I know. And Ricky, you're in the home stretch here. You have just the big event.
Yes,
it'll be here before you know it.
And it will definitely be here before I know it. Because remember, February is a short month, so it's going to be here even quicker than I expect. Yeah.
A short month. Yeah. A very short month, it feels like sometimes. So it'll be exciting. Very exciting. Like exciting for the BOGP family, I think. So.
This is true. Yes.
It will be exciting. It'll be fun. We'll see. I can't wait to watch from a distance because I couldn't imagine having a little one anymore.
It's especially exciting for me and Mike.
Yes.
I can't imagine. I cannot even think.
We're like, yep, you got this, Ricky.
Sure you do.
So let's get to actually, the first question today is not a question. It's a follow-up to the show that Scott and I did on Monday, which was, we just kind of talked about stories. We went through old pictures on Google Photos again and told the stories behind the pictures. And I talked about, and I don't know if you guys remember this. Okay, over at Epcot, my pictures all came from 2006 and 2007. So this was pre-Mallory. This was when it was just Pam, Paige, and I. And over in Epcot, in the breezeway, in Interventions between Mouse Gear and Electric Umbrella, as you were heading back to Test Track, every summer they had these gigantic balls that were like fabric on the outside, but I mean, they were huge.
Yes.
And I posted a picture because Paige always wanted one. We never got her one because they were too expensive and they were just obnoxious. But I have like so many pictures of her because we'd have to stop. She'd play with them for like 10 minutes every time we went to Test Track or Ellen's Energy Adventure, whatever it was over in that corner of the park. She always had to play with it. We always took her picture. I didn't know what that was called. However, do you guys remember those balls? I mean,
100%. They were like kid magnets. Are you kidding me?
They were adult magnets too. Let's be honest.
They were pretty awesome. They should have been listed on the, the guide. They were so cool. I mean, it was at least as cool as like Some of All Thrills.
Yeah.
Anyway, Candy comes through this week and she says, "Hey, Mike, the ball you were speaking about on your podcast is the Balzac balloon ball."
Correct.
It was basically a fabric cover over a balloon. I purchased one for my son in the late 90s. We deflated the balloon and packed it in our luggage to come home. You could just reinflate it and tuck it back into the fabric. It looks like they are now making a comeback. And she gave a website. It is www.gobalzac.com. So it's GOBALZAC.com. I do not get a kickback from selling these things. But
I had no idea they could be deflated. That's crazy.
I didn't know that they were going to be deflated because Hannah was in fierce negotiations one year to get one of those. And I was like, no, we're flying. And the woman was very quick to point out that they could be deflated. And I was like,
dang it. Stop trying
to shush, lady.
Stop trying to make a sale.
I told Paige they couldn't either. Like that thing can't fit in our car. It's as big as our car because
Right.
we
Oh my
drove that.
gosh.
I had
That's
nightmares
funny.
about that thing in my house, right?
Yes.
Like, I mean, if you bring it home, even though you say it's going to have to stay outside, it's coming in the house at some point.
Yeah, of
I
course.
gotta say, that thing would have been awesome in our backyard because we always like in our old house at that time, like we had so many kids on our street and they were always in our backyard. We always played soccer and kickball. I mean, because I was a teacher, so I was off all summer back then. I was like the gym teacher every night. We had games in the backyard with Mike. And I mean, because one time we won this big playground ball at Dave and Buster's. It
Oh
was
my
it was
gosh.
playground ball, but it was big. And I used to smoke that thing, and I would literally knock little kids over with it. Like it had that thump, and it'd be just little kids go over like.
Why
buttons.
can I picture this? Like, this
And
is
I
not
just
surprising
picture-
in the least.
No, I can picture just kids going flying in the air because Mike kicked a ball in there.
Mike being like, toughen up,
That's right.
brush
I
it off, stand up, move on.
I was like, I grew up in the '80s, brother. Get ready. This is how this is why our generation is. We're hardy. Anyway, next question. Next
Gosh.
question
We're
is
hardy.
from Beth. I don't know. We played jarts and we loved it.
100%. That was a party game. When you had a family reunion, everyone played.
It's a miracle we don't have holes in us. 'cause jarts, man. My great grandparents, man. Every time we went over their house, it was like, "Want to play jarts?" I think they're trying to get rid of us.
They knew. They're like, let me just have them play jarts, and maybe one of them will.
You want to
throw
throw
it
these big iron
correctly.
spikes?
Yeah.
Anyway, Beth has a question. Hey, Mike, Ricky, and Pam, thank you for all that you do. I've been listening for a couple of years, and I have a question for y'all. I am a huge Disney Parks fan, and I've been to Walt Disney World and Disneyland several times as an adult. However, my husband has never been to any of the parks. He didn't watch any Disney movies growing up and thinks Mickey and Minnie are for children. We spent a day at Disney's Alani during our honeymoon this last fall. After seeing how much I enjoyed being there, my husband has agreed to go to Walt Disney World with me. We have a
Yay.
trip planned for April, and we'll be spending 5 days there. Here's my question. I know he'll do anything I want while we're at Walt Disney World, but I would love to plan some things that he will enjoy as well. He likes good food, pyrotechnics, and being outdoors. He does not particularly enjoy large crowds. If you could recommend one experience for him in Walt Disney World, what would it be? Bonus question, what's the least crowded place to watch the Magic Kingdom fireworks? Thanks so much. Beth is down in Texas. And she sent a little emoji with the cowboy hat, which I always think is cool.
Nice.
Okay, so my biggest, I read this one when it came in a couple of days ago, and my first thing that came to mind was a fireworks cruise. This would
That's
be
what I thought. Yeah.
because, I mean, it checks off every box. It's seeing pyrotechnics, fireworks, away from the crowds. You could do this for the Magic Kingdom or Epcot fireworks. So you could do it out on Seven Seas Lagoon. And it feels kind of VIP. You're outside. You could pair that with a good meal at a monorail resort, maybe like a Whispering Canyon. If you want to go a little bit more casual, go over to Geyser Point, or you could go, go to Kona Cafe or, Grand Floridian Cafe. So many options around there. But I would do dinner and a fireworks cruise would be my suggestion. But let's think outside the box, Pam. Give her some more suggestions so she has some ideas.
I love that, but I do love the idea of a dessert party too at the Magic Kingdom, or at Epcot. You can also do those dinner with the viewing locations. But the reason I'm going to suggest a dessert party is that sort of keeps you out of the crowd. You can go into that small Rose Garden location if that's the one that you choose to do, or you can have seating to see the Magic Kingdom fireworks as well. The other thing I think in general that's just fun to do is to rent a boat at you can rent them at the Magic Kingdom resorts or over at Fort Wilderness, which is a Magic Kingdom resort too. I think that's kind of a cool thing to do. And just being at Fort Wilderness in general, I think is always a really interesting experience. It does get you outdoors. There's some walking paths. You can walk past the cabins. You can walk past the tent areas. That's fun. As another option, they have those wagon rides that you can do in the evening. So I think that's something that's a little out of the box, a little different to try.
What about you, Rick? Anything else you could think of?
Gosh, you guys have given such good options and things that I was totally thinking about myself. So I'm going to suggest something for like a nice meal. Maybe you go to, of course, they're changing up California Grill. It's going to be a prefix menu, which, I'm sure some people are happy about, some people are sad about. So, but that's always an option, California Grill around the fireworks time. That way, you can see the fireworks from there. It won't be as crowded. So that could be an option there. If you wanted to go a little bit different, you could go like to Topolino's. Again, they have a really good view of the fireworks. Now, do they pan pipe in the music there at Topolino or not? They don't, do they? I don't think they do.
No, they don't.
No.
You just can go, but going outside is really kind of cool to see them too.
Absolutely.
She says she's a super fan. She probably has it memorized. She can
she can, yeah. But they have that really great terrace out at Topolino too, which is, really nice to just kind of relax on as well. So those are a couple options for like seeing fireworks, but kind of seeing them out of, the hustle and bustle of everything. If you're in the Magic Kingdom, and you're wanting to see the fireworks, like Pam said, the dessert party is going to be the go-to, I think, for not being in the crowds. Just to be perfectly honest, that's the best option. The only other option I'm going to say is, do it from like Fantasyland or something like that, but it's not the same because you're not getting that fantastic view of the castle with the, the projections on it. So, that will be less people, but it won't, you're not going to get the full show if that's what you're looking for. So
what if you time it just right and ride Splash Mountain and go right over? Oh wait.
Too soon.
My bad. That was the mom though back in the day.
Yes.
You know what? If you follow technology, who needs Chat GPT when you got our BOGP chat room as we record
That's
live
true.
because Ashley is here, and she says, since he likes being outdoors, maybe that ropes course tour at Animal Kingdom, which is
the Wild Africa truck.
The Wild Africa truck, yeah. I mean, who doesn't like dangling over an alligator pit?
There you go. I think they also have they brought back the Caring for Giants or
I think so.
Yeah,
and the rhinos too.
And the rhino one, yeah. So that's an option as well. So
yeah, those are good ones.
Yep. There you go. Cool. All right, Kevin's got a question here. Hey, BOGP crew, we went last year and drove from the ATL. We only drove to the park one day, studios, but couldn't remember. Is there a dedicated lane or two for hotel guests, aka guests who don't have to pay to park at the parks? I guess that does make sense to pay to park at the parks.
Pay to park at the parks.
Yeah.
There. If not, I think there should be. I remember we waited about 20 to 25 minutes in line and got in a little later than we wanted. Appreciate any insight and hope you to say hello if you're ever down there at the World at the same time. Best, Kevin, out in Atlanta. So Ricky, you drive all the time.
I do.
There's not like
there is not, and actually, that does surprise me. To be perfectly honest. That would be something really simple and easy that Disney could totally add, but then again, you'd have people who aren't paying attention who get in the lane. But, if you're a resort guest or an annual pass holder, you go in, these specific lanes over here and everyone else goes in the other lanes. And that would be a great idea. I think that I would love to see that personally because I'm constantly having to go through the turnstiles and having to, and have my annual pass. So it would be a fantastic way to just kind of get through things. So.
It would be. Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd always have somebody there like, oh, I thought this was the lane for.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You always have the person who's like, oh,
I swear though, sometimes when I'm in that line, I want to know what the person in front of me is doing.
I
do too. Take like this inordinate amount of time. Like if you're paying, money's ready,
right?
Give it to her, receipt, and go. There's like conversations.
You're going to be paying money. Like, that they are going to take money from you at that point.
I do agree with that, but you got to understand the Midwestern way of life. Like, you got to ask her about how they're doing, how are the grandkids. So, how's the weather back home? Oh, you're from Kansas City. How about those Chiefs? When you think about Mahomes, dude, I just want to get in the park. Like,
exactly.
Right now, I am not getting my grilled cheese. I'm not getting my breakfast Ronto wrap, and you're worried about the high ankle sprain on Patrick Mahomes, which isn't going to matter because I'm a 49ers fan and they're not playing.
There needs to be a Cusco thing that says no talkie. No talkie. No. Only he says no touchy, I guess. But it could be no talkie.
It could work. It could work. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
and like from certain hours, like an hour before until like 2 hours after park opening. No small talk.
Yes.
Move
No.
on.
Just
all
keep
right.
going.
And shout out to our friend Kim, who is a PhotoPass photographer, usually at Epcot, but she's all over Walt Disney World. She takes a lot of pictures for the race events, which we always appreciate. She is going to be taking on the cast member preview of Tron on February 10th. So she'll be going into the
Fun.
grid
Nice.
and giving us a report. Not that I'm
That's
jealous.
awesome.
I'm
Not at
living
all.
my dream, this 80 child's dream. So have fun with that. Andrew also has a question here, and he's been with us forever, and we've been thinking about him a lot here under our house
Yeah.
lately, and we appreciate him so much. He says, how do you think SeaWorld's recent focus on adding big roller coasters affects the Orlando theme park game? I think, it's just getting more competitive down there, don't you think, Pam? I mean, they've got a lot happening over at Universal. Orlando, especially SeaWorld, they're kind of shifting away from the animals to the more thrill park. I think that's just where kind of where it's a safer bet and where the money is at this point.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think any competition is good. I think it'd be hard pressed to put SeaWorld up as competition for the other parks in the area. I'm just gonna say, I don't
Sure.
think they're nearly as well attended.
Mm.
And they certainly have a draw, but we don't have a ton of people coming to us and saying, I really want to go to SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Universal parks and the Disney parks, they are. But there are some really good things there. I think another Legoland is also in the area too. And again, I would put it maybe Legoland and SeaWorld are closer to being, in
Yeah.
that level of park thing. But I think anytime you're bringing some kind of innovative experience to a park, I think that makes the other parks notice and think about what they want to do too. I think there are definitely some things that SeaWorld does really well. And the other parks can always learn from that. But when you're not first or second, you have to try harder. I
Yeah.
think
Mhm.
that's
Like
what
Hertz.
happens.
It's like Hertz. Go ahead, Ricky.
Yeah. Well, the thing about SeaWorld is they are being kind of smart in what they're doing, because they are tapping into a market that is kind of not very well tapped into in the universe and the area of Orlando. There aren't a lot of theme parks that focus on the coasters. So Universal, now that they're shifting their focus, they've decided, hey, that's the path that we should take. We should build these extreme coasters. And there are people who are looking for that kind of vacation. So that's why there are so many regional theme parks that are seriously so focused on building the next coaster. You go out anywhere. Here in Georgia, we have our Six Flags. There's Cedar Point, there's Dollywood and stuff like that. Like a lot of them focus on coasters because they know that does have a big draw and it has its own set of enthusiastic fans. So I think that anything is good. Like Pam said, anything new is good for the area. I'm happy to see something come like that. And it just draws people in and, like she said, makes the competition that much more fun for all of us. So I love it.
All right. Next piece of feedback. It's feedback from the show that Scott and I did with Wade, our good friend up in Nebraska, about if we had one question to ask one cast member at Walt Disney World. It's just kind of a follow-up. Meg says, hey, Mike, I just caught up in the episode you did with Scott and Wade about questions you'd want to ask the cast members. I have a pro tip about where you can meet some cast members who have done interesting jobs and get about 10 to 20 minutes to chat with them. The answer is minivans. I have had the pleasure of talking with drivers who were tour guides, drove safari vehicles, and worked front desks at hotels. They are the nicest people and always have fun stories to share. I know you usually choose a regular lift, but a good story might be worth a few extra dollars. My favorite trip ever was with the safari driver who told us about a badly behaved giraffe. That's not good. Thanks for keeping me entertained in my community each week. Meg is up in Moosip, Connecticut, I guess it is. Moosip. That's where our friend
Nice.
married to Jocelyn should live. Moose.
Moose.
Yeah.
He's a happy moose right now because his Eagles are in the Super Bowl.
Fly Eagles for him.
Absolutely. He is a happy moose. I mean, that does make sense because I've taken the minivans a few times, never paid. Got lucky a few times to ride them, but before they went, cost a lot. And They just asked us at the airport one day, hey, you want to take a minivan? I was like, hey, let's roll. Let's go. Like, it's free. I'm like, oh, hey,
Sure. I like it.
That's
Yeah.
my love language. And we got to ride. That is a great point. And it seems like, a lot of those drivers, at least the ones that we did have, were kind of, that's exactly what Meg says. They've had very interesting roles within the company before they were minivan drivers. Pam, have you ever done a minivan? Have you ever?
Yeah.
You have the kind of same.
We do. We probably do it like once a trip and it's absolutely the same concept. We've had such a wide range of cast members who had different and interesting jobs. It's a really forward facing, guest centric sort of service. So I think that they're really looking for cast members who who are comfortable sharing and interacting and things like that. And just so very interesting. Like she said, we've just had a wide range of things, and there's always like stories and things to tell. So I love that. I love hearing from the cast members. I think that what they do is so interesting, and the experiences that they have are so interesting. Plus, you always want to hear, just the stories that they take away from. I think pretty much like our job, Mike, that people at the end of my career, I think I have some stories to tell. I'm just going to say this thing. So
A few.
At this point, though, I'm just going to keep them to myself and keep it rolling.
Good call.
When does the statute of limitations run out?
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure. We won't use any real names to protect the innocent.
Yeah, totally. Oh, mercy. Great thoughts.
That would be a great book, though. Like.
Right.
But you know what? If you think about it, though, I mean, that is kind of a unique situation at Walt Disney World. I mean, you are going to get an intimate, setting with a guest for like at least 10 minutes. If you're driving just from like Old Key West over to, not French Quarter, but like to the Contemporary, like you're going to get 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And, without talking, it's awkward. And so,
that's true.
I will say a lot of times in Ubers, though, I just pretend like I'm asleep. Like if I'm going from the airport, because I'm usually tired anyway. And it's just a good time to get like a little 20-minute power nap. And then I'm, 'cause I'm getting ready for my vacation.
Right.
Anyway, Ryan's got a question. I'm out of here. He says, which to prioritize? IL or first regular? Oh, no, just ILL or first regular LL. So individual lightning lane or lightning lane. Hey, Mike, I'm a longtime listener to the BOGP, but first time question writer because I'll finally be heading back to Walt Disney World this February for the first time since 2018. Wow. I have a question for my partner and I on our Hollywood Studios Day of February 15th. We're planning on buying an individual lightning lane for Rise of the Resistance, but also we'll be purchasing Genie Plus because we simply have to do everything at Hollywood Studios. When 7 a.m. rolls around, am I better off buying the individual lightning lane first or prioritizing our first Genie Plus lightning lane selection for the day? Ricky, what say you to this predicament?
I think you're better to buy the individual lightning lane first, because you never know when that's going to sell out. Genie Plus, at least, that it's going to be okay. You're going to have availability for attractions, depending throughout the day. So I still would prioritize that individual lightning lane first. And the interesting thing about Genie Plus is they kind of throw you random times. So it's not like it used to be when it was Fast Pass where they'd go in order. Like they kind of just throw out random times. So I would make that my next choice, pick which attraction that you want, and then see if it's not the time that you want, see if you can modify it for earlier in the day, which is what I'm assuming you're probably looking for.
All right, Pam, any other thoughts? I mean, I would do the same thing. I'd go with the Rise.
I would too. But I also think that if I were you, I would have one of you trying for the individual lightning lane while the other one that works on the Genie Plus. I wouldn't both try for the individual lightning lane, just because sometimes it impacts the system. And Disney actually says don't like to have one person in your party do it. So one of you try for the individual lightning lane, and then the other one can work on the Genie Plus stuff.
Yep. That works too.
Dee does say, though, she's giving a counterpoint in the feedback here. She went with Lightning Lane for Slinky Dog Dash first, and then she says Rise has been available lately throughout the morning. So you can see. I mean, just I would probably go with the individual if that's your priority. Like I would say, prioritize. What would you be the most disappointed in not experiencing?
Yeah,
and that's priority one. You
Because
know,
you
Or-
can do Slinky Dog in the regular line. You can always do
Correct.
the standby.
I mean, yeah,
So-
you can also always do Rise in the regular standby too if you had to. So, but I would still prioritize Rise first. That's
Yeah.
just me. So,
good point. All right, Lee's got a question. Hey, Mike, Pam, Ricky, and Scott. First of all, let me just say how amazing all your podcasts are and how much I love listening to them every week. Thank you so much. My family and I'll be visiting Walt Disney World from London, UK for the first 2 weeks of April. My elderly parents, who are both 78 but fairly mobile, will be traveling with us. However, I wanted to ask your opinions on whether certain rides would be too rough or jerky for them or would throw them around too much. The rides in question are Rise of the Resistance and Guardians of the Galaxy. Also, with the recent great news about Tron opening on the 4th of April, do you think it'll be only cast members and annual pass holders who'll get to ride initially? If so, what are the chances of the ride being open to all other guests before the 15th of April, our return date? Many thanks in advance for any help you can provide on these. Best wishes and have a magical day. Lee over in London. Well, first of all, it opens on April 4th, so you
so
should.
you're good.
You're good.
Yeah, but keep in mind there are only 2 ways you can ride it. So you can only ride it with purchase of individual Lightning Lane or with the virtual queue. So just know that going forward, you have to prioritize. If you really want to make sure you ride it, then I would go individual Lightning Lane first option because that's going to be a hard one to get, when you have to make a choice at that point. So, whether you do individual Lightning Lane or try for the virtual queue, just, the virtual queue is going to go like that. So just a heads up.
No
I mean,
standby.
individual Lightning Lane will go like that too, but, virtual queue is, it's going to be seconds. So, if that.
Well,
so.
Let's think about this. 78-year-old parents, fairly mobile. Rise the Resistance, Guardians of the Galaxy. Rise doesn't really have a jerky part except for, not a spoiler, but there is a part where it drops.
But it's not a big drop. It
It's
really
not.
is not.
Big drop. And I think if you know it's coming, you can kind of brace yourself. You just kind of
Yeah.
don't spoil it, but it's like, towards the end there, you're gonna do a little dip.
Yeah.
I would say you're okay on that.
I think so too. I mean, there's a lot of back and forth and moving like this, but you're fairly like safe and cushioned in that little
True.
ride vehicle. Like
And it's
I
not
feel
the-
very like snug. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I sort of feel like I like snug down in that vehicle for some reason. It feels much more like secure to me than even like Dinosaur or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know why. The sides come up higher too, I think, too, with that. So I would feel like Rise was fine.
But then the question
Yeah.
is Guardians.
It's just the motion sickness issue,
Yeah,
and it just really
Because it's smooth as butter. I mean, for
it's
a coaster,
it's
you're
just
smooth as butter.
challenging.
It is fast.
Lots,
I mean,
it like hits a
moving
lot
a
of people
Yeah.
Yeah.
with that.
true.
So I think that's the thing to consider. I think even people who didn't anticipate it being an issue, right, that Guardians can be an issue. So
Good point.
something to think about.
Rocket Raccoon rocked my world a little bit. Got
Yeah.
Yes.
me- just saying.
Date with the trash can.
No, it wasn't that bad. But I knew because again, when I was down there, we could have ridden that thing all we wanted for 6
Yeah.
hours. Check, please. One time, good. I'm done. I'm not. I've learned my limits. Back. 22-year-old Mike would have been trash can for real.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Idiot. You came 1,000 miles to be hanging over a trash can.
I know when Mission Space opened, when I went to that event, I rode it 3 times in a row. And that was before I just did it. It didn't impact me as much as
Oh
it did
my
now.
gosh.
I literally rode it 3 times in a row. Me and Gary Sinise were like best friends at that point.
What
He
you
warned
rode
me-
the road with Gary Sinise? That's awesome.
He warned me again and again
Not to ride it if you have
if I were
issues.
afraid of small and enclosed spaces, that I may not
Wow.
like this ride.
That's impressive
No,
that you rode it 3
I did.
times.
I did.
Oh my gosh.
And then, I've gotten older.
Yeah.
since that point in time. I mean, I don't think I have, but apparently something in my inner ear does.
Yeah.
Oh my
The youth is wasted on the young. It's
100%.
it's terrible. Len says he can do Rise, no problems. He's like, no, Guardians, forget it. Like I've got it with him. I told Scott, like, I'll do it once. Like, if we're down there at the same time, I'll do it once. Like, we'll be there for
Yeah.
Princess. But I mean, I know my limits. That'd be it. Like, I'll do it once, but I'm gonna be, probably take a pill or something before it. I'm not no dummy here. Okay, Katie's got a question. Hey, BOGP crew, my husband and I have one park day in February. We're park hopping between Hollywood Studios and Epcot. We're gonna start our day at the studios. We're hoping to get individual lightning lanes for Rise, Cosmic Rewind, and an early Genie Plus time for Slinky Dog. How should I attack this at 7:00 a.m.? Which do I try for first? Kind of like the last question.
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
we both try to log into the same My Disney Experience account, or do we do them at the same time? Will that make the app crash? Anything can make the app crash.
Yeah, this is true.
Any chance we actually can get all three? Any insight would be awesome. Katie's up in the mitten, up in Michigan. So Pam, walk us through. So they're trying to get Rise, Cosmic Rewind, and they're trying to get an early Slinky Dog if possible. What do you think?
So I would not both log into the same My Disney Experience account. As long as you are linked your My Disney Experience account through friends and family, you can see all those people in your account. You can be signed into your own My Disney Experience account, and you can make either Lightning Lane or Genie Plus. You can make individual Lightning Lane or Genie Plus Lightning Lane reservations for everyone that you're linked to and is in the park, has that park ticket or reservation in that park. So there's no need to be logged into the same one. Log into each into your own. I think it does work better. And then I would go from that point to you're looking at Rise and Slinky Dog are in the same park. So you're going to try to hopefully get those in the morning. And then you're going to do Guardians later. Are you planning on doing it at the 1 o'clock? Like you're going to try for Lightning Lane or
Well, they
individual
can't do
Lightning Lane?
At 1, they wouldn't be in the park. You can't park hop yet until 2.
No, but the Rise or the Guardians
You have to be in the park.
queue opens at 1.
In the park.
That's right.
Yeah. So I would probably, if it was me, I would have one of you try individual Lightning Lane for Rise. One of you try for individual Lightning Lane for Guardians. Now, keep in mind, sometimes when you do that, you may get an early time for Guardians, but Disney's usually pretty good at working with people. And, if for some reason you miss your Lightning Lane time for Guardians, they will usually let you in. I mean, for the most part, you paid for it, so they'll let you in more likely. And then I would try for Slinky Dog after I got the individual Lightning Lanes for the other 2.
That's about the only way you can. I mean, it's the only way you can go after.
And again, like I said to the other question, you get your time, and you never kind of know. It's not like it used to be. Like I said, with Fast Pass, so you get whatever like time they show you, and then you can modify it from there. Mm-hmm. So I would then try to modify it if it wasn't at a time that you thought was going to work. So that's the best I can say. Or you wait in line for Slinky. There's that option as well. So
good old lines, just like the 1980s again. Makes you hardy. Yep. Okay, last question of the day is from Stephanie. Hey, Mike and crew, I have a question for you, please. We are traveling to Walt Disney World from the UK in February. This is the UK show. I love it.
Yeah.
It's in the UK. That just blows my mind. Let's see. We're not going into the parks this trip, but we're hoping to see the fireworks from the Polynesian on this Saturday of President's Holiday. Not sure if that is the right terminology, she says. Yeah, President's Day weekend is what we call it. I heard you say that they sometimes limit the beach to guests only on some holidays. Do you think they will for that holiday? If so, where else should we see the Magic Kingdom fireworks, please? Thank you so much, Steph. Okay, so here's the solution to get around this. Get an ADR at Kona Cafe, Ohana. You could get one at Grand Floridian Cafe. That's an easier one to secure, and it's a great meal. And you can see the fireworks almost just as well from right outside of Gasparilla's, which is right kind of by Grand Floridian Cafe at Grand Flow. That's a great meal and a great place to see the fireworks. You could also do it at the Contemporary. You could do California Grill. You could do Steakhouse 71. Pam, I mean, any other suggestions? Because they're not going to the parks. And I mean, people do want to see the fireworks, and you have a legitimate reason to be there if you have an ADR.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know that they've been closing them on President's Day weekend, but it's hard to know. Like Disney has become more strict about parking, especially lately, there. And I know you're not parking there, but I'm speaking to that because when they're more strict about parking, they're more strict about just people in general being at the resorts, and they can choose to do that anytime they want to.
Right.
So I would absolutely get an ADR. But yeah, you can see it from, I honestly feel, and I hate to even say this, but I feel like the view from Grand Floridian is almost a little better than at the Polynesian. It feels more close. Now,
Sure.
yeah, I don't know that I always go to Gasparilla. You can also look like from the beach over there too. That's a location. Maybe not better because you don't have the castle there, but the castle's pretty small when you're sitting on the Polynesian beach. Like
it's tiny. Yeah.
it's teeny tiny. So do that. And also the fourth floor sort of overlook there at the Contemporary, I think is a great spot too. But I'm guessing you're probably going to want to be there a little early because it'll probably be busy.
Yeah, that weekend is, I mean, even though it's, we think of it as kind of a minor holiday in the United States, but it is a busy holiday at Walt Disney World. People just want to get down to Florida. So be ready. All right. Well, hey, that's going to do it for today's show. Today we were recording we had some computer issues. We had all kinds of issues here in the studio. So if it sounds a little bit wonky today, I do apologize for that. It might be the same on Friday. We're trying to get through these shows because I'm heading out of town. I'm going down to watch my daughter's basketball team in Springfield this weekend. Go Flames, go UIC, University of Illinois, Chicago, beat the Lady Bears down in Springfield. And then hopefully heading to Walt Disney World next week. And I have a lot of information and pictures and videos from Walt Disney World for that. So, trying to get, a bajillion podcasts in, of course, in like 48 hours. So never want to miss a show. And of course, that's when the computer crashes. Never fails. Never fails. So doing the best I can here. So hopefully you got a good show to listen to today and we've entertained you and maybe you learned something today. Who knows? You probably didn't, but because I'm sure you know all this, you're Disney expert, but we're all in this together. We're helping each other out. Don't forget our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out for all your Disney trip planning needs. The agents are standing by right now to help you plan an amazing Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip. Get a free Disney dining card there with a lot of packages for this spring and summer down at Walt Disney World. Also, there's some killer room offers for spring and summer as well. You want to ever stay at a deluxe resort? Now's the time. Check out all the details over at the website, themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. The one extra click supports everything we do. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And finally, a sincere thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest podcast. You make all these shows possible. You allow us to put these shows out 3, 4, 5 times a week. It's because of you. And our patrons get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. If you'd like to join us, we'd sure love to have you. Coming over, patreon.com/Be Our Guest podcast. Give Pam a follow on the social media. She's at TMFLT Pam. Ricky's at Ricky Nibs, RIKKINIBS. And I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. Check us all out on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, we'll have a live call-in show this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. You can call us and we'll talk about all the Disney topics that are on your mind. We turn the show over to you. All right, we're going to be back again on Friday with another fun topic. This topic we're going to talk about on Friday, I think you'll enjoy this one. When you're looking for blank at Walt Disney World, and we're going to put something in that blank, adventure, romance, I don't know. We'll think of some other words to throw in there. We're going to give, it could be an attraction. It could be a resort. It could be a restaurant. It could be a souvenir. It could be anything. So we're going to get that. And then we're going to continue that game on social media with you guys, that conversation, and also on Sunday night on the live call-in show. So I know you're like waiting. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to wait 48 hours for that show to come out. I know it's going to be rough, but we're all in this together. We'll make it through. All right. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday as always. Thank you so very much for downloading our show and hanging out with us. We appreciate it so very much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Okay, now let me see how I save this file.
Oh yeah, please save it correctly.
Save project as warning. Save project is for Audacity project, not an audio file. Use export. Okay, hang on. Okay, so cancel. File. Export. What is an MP3? Yes, that's what I want. I want to save that to. Okay, to be our guest. Where is it? Desktop. So this would be episode 2. UDAs. Oh my God. Not any of that. I didn't just get rid of Ricky. It's saving. Hang on. Exporting the audio with the standard presets. Where'd she go? What was that?
On my phone. Like,
Oh, okay. I'm like, dude, this software is now making music.
No. I hope I flipped my phone over. Hey, on the 8th, I have an extra ticket for you to the DVC member thing. If you want to,
Sweet.
we're done.
Yeah, cool. That sounds good to me.
We'll be up 12 plus hours that day.
Oh my God. You know me, I'm old. I go to bed at 10.
I know.
Hang on.
We're gonna drag you with us though.
We'll make it. Okay, hang on. Let's see here.
Hey, that was weird. I got kicked out.
Mike did it on purpose, Ricky.
No, okay, now I gotta figure out how to get rid of this.
I know he did.
How do I?
All right. Well, he's doing that. I'm gonna go use the facility.
Well, I'm almost there. Hang on, let's see. Okay, close. Save project before closing. No. I already saved it. File. New.
I know, but every time it asks you that, don't you you're like, I
know,
guess.
But I know I saw it save I saved the file because I don't need the project.
I don't know. I don't trust.
I know that's how I am. I hate using new software. Uh-oh. There you are. How do I change this though to I want to make it settings. Where are the settings on this thing? I want to make it I don't want it to be stereo. I recorded that one in stereo and I don't want it to be stereo. Line in, channel, mono. There we go. Now we're cooking with bacon.
With bacon? Wow, that's exciting.
Record in mono or stereo because it makes the file bigger for downloads. And we don't, who cares if we're in mono or stereo, dude, we're talking. Because like the first few shows I was recording in stereo, I'm like, oh, we're gonna sound cool. And my dad's like, nobody cares. You're talking on a microphone. You're not like Queen or something.
That's hysterical. Because sometimes people will have a YouTube video, like a video that they've uploaded, like maybe they've recorded something from TV or something, and they upload it in stereo. And I frequently only have like one.
It screws you over. Yeah, if you don't.
Yeah, because I'm like, wait, what? It's not working. It's quiet. I don't hear it. Yeah, I know.
Which will be fine because I have it exactly split 50 because the default's like 50-50, so we're good. But there's no reason to make this bigger. I hope that recorded. I'm sure it did. I know it recorded. Now I just gotta figure out how to edit it and add the music and stuff. I might not even put a background track in. We'll see. I might just save it and wait till my dad gets over to edit it now that I have the file. You ready, Ricky?
Why do things blow up like right as I'm ready to leave without fail?
Yep, that's how it always. It's not like not an offer or something. Please tell me.
No, just regular stuff.
You ready, Ricky? Ricky. Pam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Ricky's frozen on mine.
Oh, there she went. So now I'm down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let me know if you need to at some point during the day tomorrow record something quick because I can do it.
I think I'm okay. I got to record with this girl named Abby from Indiana, and I got to do Mike in the Midwest because I already scheduled them. Because she was the one that was going to be next Wednesday, and she could only record then. I've met her actually at Magic Kingdom like years ago. I just want to see if this is in audio. I don't want to hit record until, but hopefully it's in mono. 2, 1. Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep, you're frozen. You were frozen.
What?
Hello?
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 Am I frozen now? No?
Nope. Hello?
What the heck? Hi.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Can you can't hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear Ricky.
I can hear too.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Can
Am
you
I
hear us?
moving?
Yes.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are.
I can hear you.
Okay, we're good then.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
here we go.
Let's do it. I'll stop typing.
Yep.
Typing.
Here we go. Don't
was weird.
anybody make any noise because I'm hitting the record button and I don't have to edit because I don't
Okay.
know really how to do it. Okay, here we go. This is 22:33 for Friday. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2233 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. And this is the weekend. Yes, the weekend without football. I know it's a sad weekend. That's why I escaped down to Springfield, Missouri, the land of Matt Parrish, to watch Paige's basketball team take on the Lady Bears of what used to be called Southwest Missouri State. Now it's just Missouri State. So it's exciting to see my daughter on the bench there. And, she's not at Mizzou anymore. So we had to go down and see the UIC Flames hopefully get a big Missouri Valley Conference win. So I'm down there, and then Lickety Split should be heading down to Walt Disney World first thing Monday morning on a Southwest jet. So I'm excited. It's an exciting time. But we're here with a fun podcast to get you to wrap up the work week and get you into the weekend. And we're going to have some fun today. Joining me, we have the OG crew, which you know and love. Ricky's here from the mouseforless.com. Ricky, happy Friday. What's going on?
Happy Friday. And should all things go correctly, I will actually be in the Orlando area this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it as long as I'm not in labor. So, but yeah, I'm sneaking down to go to the Festival of the Arts because it is my favorite festival. And so, I've got to catch that. But I'm also going to see Vicki Lawrence, supposedly, hopefully, in the Villages. My mom got me tickets to see her for Christmas. I loved Mama's Family growing up. And so apparently I get to see Vicki Lawrence, who I've just adored since I was little. So I'm very excited to see that it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, it feels like. So I've got to go. So I'm very excited.
Okay. I do love Festival of the Arts. Don't really Mama's Family. When that show was on, nothing would make me run from the TV faster than that show.
No, nothing made me run faster toward the TV than when I heard the Mama's Family.
That is so funny because that show was like repellent for me.
No, I loved it.
That annoyed the crap out of me. That show was just it's annoying. But the thing is, I know it's different strokes for different folks.
It
but
is.
Man, you're rolling the dice. I like it. Though. You're
I
going
know I'm rolling the dice. I get that. I 100% understand.
living on the edge.
I'm living on the edge, but yeah. So the question that that inevitably will get asked though is which version of Mama's Family do I like better? Do I like the older version or the newer version? Because there were two different they did two different kinds of shows, and I am a fan of the version with Vinton and Naomi and Bubba and all that. So that's the version that I like better. But hey, who can ever I mean, whoever says bad things about Rue McClanahan. So, you got her on there too. So I just said a lot of things for a lot of people who did not watch the shows.
As far as I know, Rue McClanahan is no longer with us.
She is not, but both her and Betty White were on Mama's Family before they were on Golden Girls. Yep, exactly. So.
Perfect for the villages, though.
Yes.
Perfect deal out there. That sounds like a great weekend there. Golf carts and
yep, there you go.
Have fun with that, Ricky. I thought I was old. You just took the cake.
I just took the old cake. Good for me.
say hey to Gomer Pyle while you're there. Thanks.
Yep. No.
Okay. All right. Also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, happy Friday. You are on the Disney Wish right now. How awesome is it?
Yes. Happy Friday. I know, right? Things aren't too bad for me today, I'm sure. So, it's going to be a good time. But yeah, Mama's Family. Wow, we got like a little history lesson there.
We did.
More than I expected.
I know.
I'm glad I could partake my wisdom. Yeah.
The wisdom of the Mama's Family. Yeah, so good. I did know that Vicki Lawrence, Betty White and Rue McClanahan were on.
Yes.
I didn't really though sync it up as to where they were in time, like before or after Golden Girls. But I guess now that you're saying it, yes, it would have been before Golden Girls. So that's interesting to think of. But yes, my family.
I know, right?
Are very invested in the Golden Girls. I will say that.
Yes.
We love the Golden Girls. Hannah, there's always multiple presents at the holidays that are Golden Girl themed. They have little people that are the Golden Girls, like a set.
I saw them.
I know.
Those are cool.
So cute. So anyways,
yes.
Lots of Golden Girls stuff here.
I just like the old lady. Like the fun fact, and I didn't know this until like years later that the mom, like the old lady, was actually the youngest.
Youngest, yes,
she was. Yes.
She was. I know.
She was awesome. She told it how it was.
Yeah,
she did.
Back in Sicily. I love that lady. Anyway, all right. Nobody's here for old. This is like Me TV podcast or something, but this is what I watch. But anyway, here we go. Today, we're talking Walt Disney World, and we're talking, it is kind of like a little match game kind of thing. Speaking of 70s and Gene Rayburn and the long microphone, we're going to do this thing where we say, when you're looking for blank at Walt Disney World, and we're going to fill in the blank with, some kind of a word, and we're going to try to give it could be a resort, it could be a restaurant, it could be an attraction, it could be a souvenir that you get at Walt Disney World. It could be, a show, anything. What's the first thing that pops into your mind? So let me give the example. Valentine's Day, right around the corner. So you better be out there shopping. I know it is because I listen to all my sports talk radio on Sirius XM and Pajamagram commercials nonstop. Like you got to give your significant other pajamagrams, which I think my wife would be mad if I got her pajamagrams, but I don't know. I've never tried.
Yeah, I would not be happy with pajamagrams.
I'm saying,
not a good choice. No.
Yeah, stuffed animal kind of commercial. I don't know what even that's from, but they sell those too. Anyway, so when you're looking for romance at Walt Disney World, let's come up with something that's a little bit outside the box, because we've done Is This Romantic? We've done shows on romance at Walt Disney World, but Pam, you're looking for romance at Walt Disney World. What's something that is a little bit outside the box? Somebody's like, oh, I didn't think of that, but that'd be great for romance. What do you think?
So if I'm looking for romance, I am heading over to the Epcot Resort area and doing the loop around that Crescent Lake. Is that what it's called? Crescent Lake at night. Yeah. I'm going to pick someplace good to eat, and you have a lot of great choices, right? You can go to Yachtsman and go there. You can go to Flying Fish and go there. You could make there's so many different choices over there. But then we're going to stroll around at night. For me, sometimes that's just like something we do all the time. And I love that. It's like the best part of the night for me. We've had a great meal. We've had a good drink, and we're just going to stroll that area. The lights are beautiful at night. And that's just one of my favorite places in the whole world is right there. So for me, that says romance.
I agree. That is a great spot. What about you, Ricky? You're looking for romance at Walt Disney. Could be a souvenir, could be an attraction, could be a restaurant, could be a resort. What do you got?
It could be. I'm gonna go with the hammocks that can be found at some of the various resorts that you go to. So they have them at the Polynesian. They have them on at the beach club. They have something kind of similar at the Riviera. They have these like chairs that are really cool that you can sit in. So I like that because like you can just snuggle up with your honey and just that's the best thing. So and if you end up taking a nap, well then that's good too.
That is okay. Yeah, I'm going with one that I've actually said years and years ago, but I'm sticking with this, and I still think it's romantic in a strange way. And it's the Jazz In section of All Star.
All right.
There's something about it. It's like it's got obviously jazz background music playing. It's an all-star resort, so it's a value resort, but it's got the neon lights. It's kind of like that jazz colors, like the Mardi Gras colors of the purple, the greens, the yellows. It's got the big drum set. I don't know why. I mean, it's an all-star.
I agree.
Like, not the most romantic thing in the world, but it is. It is kind of. It's romantic in an unusual way. I can't put my thumb on it, but I can't get it out of my head. I had to say it. I mean, you got French Quarter, which is the most romantic place in the whole world. But there's something about the Jazz In and all-star music. I'm telling you, man, it's romance on a budget.
Yeah, for sure. No, I see that. I see there's something about that area. I agree.
Yeah, it's young love is what,
Yeah.
it is, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty cool. All right. Okay. So Pam, I came to you first. So let's let you give the fill in the blank for the next round around. So so when you're looking for blank at Walt Disney World, give us the blank.
So I'm going with one that we sort of talked about a little bit. If you're looking for sports at Walt Disney World, where are you going?
This is so timely, I feel like.
So I know when I was thinking like the Super Bowl's coming up. So if I'm looking for sports, well, I'll let you guys go first. Okay. All right, Mike, go. If you're looking for sports, I'm going to blank.
I'm going to Splitsville because it's got noise from the people bowling.
Yeah.
Which I think adds to the atmosphere, right? I mean, you got people drinking. It's not real rowdy, but I mean, it's kind of, if you go like during a football game, if you're going during the Super Bowl, I'm sure it's going to be a little rowdy because, well, especially this year. I mean, Philadelphia fans, dude, they're crazy. I'm just saying, I love you guys. You're nuts. Kansas City fans, just don't talk smack about our town. You know what I'm saying? It's called Arrowhead for a reason. I'm not even a big Chiefs fan, but you got what was coming. So I'm just, and I think as a sports fan, you're looking for that kind of environment to watch the big game. You want you don't want a sterile environment. You don't want a quiet environment. You want noise. You want people being a little rowdy without, fearing for your life. And I think Splitsville right now provides that atmosphere. It used to be ESPN. Now we're going to have the cake bake shop. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't care how good the cake is, and I don't care how good the bake is. I still want my ESPN. It's just my jam. They better have TVs at the urinals. They probably won't. So it's awesome. But yeah, I would go Splitsville. So Ricky, throwing it to you. What do you think?
I think that my choice is going to be over at CityWorks. I feel like that Disney Springs is going to be the place where you're really going to want to go if you want to watch sports now, it feels like, for the most part. So I'm going to go with CityWorks. They have gigantic TVs there. There's always a game on, it feels like. And, they have good food. And I think that that's going to be a really good place. I think the atmosphere is going to be a lot of fun in CityWorks for, the games that are on. And I mean, like I said, they have so many different TVs there. So the chances of a game that you're looking for will probably be on. And if it's not, I mean, all you have to do is ask. And I'm sure as long as, they have a TV accessible that they can change, they probably will. So, yeah, I think City Works is going to be a good choice there.
I think that is.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
that's a good place. They have multiple TVs. Like, so if from your table or from the bar, you could watch like 5 events going on. Like, it's
Yeah.
during baseball season because you got a good chance you could watch. They could probably throw on your hometown game. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Pam, what were you thinking?
Right. So I actually was thinking City Works, but I'll throw out a different one, and I will say something that probably there are some of our listeners who don't even know this is a possibility of something you can do at Disney World, but that is foot golf.
Oh,
If you're looking for sports, you can go, right?
You can go
Check
play.
out, you could go play foot golf, which is basically a sort of melding of soccer and golf together. You're trying to kick that ball into the, I don't know.
It's a modified hole.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yes, it is something you can actually do at Walt Disney World. Disney released that actually before COVID. That was something, and something that's continued on. So that might be something different that you want to try. I know we don't have a lot of foot golf action in my area. So if I was at Disney World, that might be someplace that I'd want to try it.
So we played golf over at the Magnolia. I think it was either the Palm or the Magnolia over. So of course, it's over by the Polynesian, Shades of Green.
Mm-hmm.
And they were playing foot golf on the little 9-hole walking course that day. And it looked like a hoot and a half. I mean, it's kind of the great equalizer, right? I mean, you don't have to be a golfer to play
No.
that. You don't even have to be like a great soccer player. You know, it's kind of just something you play. It's kind of like a kickball, right? It's just a recreation. I'm sure some people are going to be better at it just because of skill sets, right? But for the most part, it's just something you go out there and just hack around and have a good time. People that were playing it were having a blast.
Yeah, it looks really fun, actually. I mean, it looks, and I think you have to go into it with that attitude. Like, I don't know if there's any professional foot golf players, but it's not going to be me or whoever I'm playing with. So it'll be a good time.
But I will say, my dad, because the football season's over, right? So he's not doing radio for the Rams right now, but he has been called up. He is now doing another sport for Sirius XM. The sport he is doing, indoor soccer. So he is now doing indoor soccer for the St. Louis Ambush. And he's not only doing home games, he's traveling to Milwaukee. I'm like,
wow.
How many people listen to indoor soccer on Sirius XM? Probably 17.
There's like a million sport channels, literally.
I mean, I didn't know indoor soccer was on Sirius XM. I've been a subscriber for years. So anyway, yeah, who knows? Okay, and shout out also to Rick's Sports Bar over at Coronado Springs. Rob's mentioning that. It's a great place to watch it. Also, if there's a lot of conventioneers, is good. I've had good atmosphere over there, and they have great guacamole. I'll just throw that out there. They have great chips and guac. All right, Ricky, you are on the hot seat next. So here you go. Fill in the blank. When you're looking for blank at Walt Disney World, fill in the blank.
All right. When you're looking for the ultimate sweet treat at Walt Disney World, where are you headed to?
It's a tough one.
I know. But you only get one choice here. So it's going to be tough for you. So Mike, I'm going to go with you first.
God, man, I didn't get much time to think about this because that's a tough, man. That's
Sorry.
So many good sweet treats.
I know.
So when you're looking for the ultimate sweet treat at Walt Disney World, I'm stalling. I'm going to go with, because it's just kind of what mood you're in, right?
Mm-hmm. It does. Yes.
I've been on a cookie kick lately, but I always have ice cream. So I just have to meld the two. So I'm going Sleepy Hollow at the Magic Kingdom.
Nicely done.
But you can get this other places, but there's something about the ice cream cookie sandwich at Sleepy Hollow. You're in the shadow of Cinderella Castle. Preferably you want to get this at night after dark. Yeah. It's probably twice as many calories because it's right before. God, you can't even look at the calories on that thing because you're getting 2 cookies that are the size of pizzas. And you're getting like a quart of ice cream on this thing. I mean, really, this thing could feed a family. But who cares? Then I destroy the whole thing and I just have it all running down my face. It's on my shirt. It's everywhere. I get back to the Pop Century and I'm like, man, I know I had this cookie because it's all over my shorts and my shirt. It's everywhere. And I just lick my sleeve. But yeah, I'm going Sleepy Hollow, ice cream cookie sandwich. It's a delight any time of the year, but on a hot summer night, there is nothing better. So throwing it to Pam, what do you got?
So I'm going to Gideon's and I'm going to get a slice of their cake. Hopefully they have the peanut butter and jelly cake because that actually happens to be my favorite. It's just good. And I am going to get the peanut butter cold brew coffee too. 2 of my favorite things there at Gideon's. So yeah, that's absolutely where I'm gonna head. Although every cake that I've had of theirs is good.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge sweet person, but I do love Gideon's. I will say, and the other thing I'm going to put in an honorable mention because no one's going to say this. At Sprinkles lately, I told you, so I mentioned I'm not that big into sweets, but they have a cornflake cookie.
Oh,
It sounds good, actually.
It is, and it's a little like it's not super sweet. It's sort of almost like a mesh between like an oatmeal cookie and something else, but none of those cruddy raisins in it. They also sprinkle some sea salt on the top. And
Huh.
I've been getting that lately. I actually really like it. It's one of my favorite like cookie things like to get there. So there's something to put out there in the world.
Does that
Interesting.
count as a nutritious breakfast?
Absolutely,
Yes.
it can. Yes, there's cornflakes in it, and
I was gonna
probably
say, yeah.
Exactly,
maybe
you're good.
oatmeal or something, an egg. I'm sure. Yeah,
Like the little Cheerio, little nut guy used to say, part of a nutritious breakfast.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
Totally. The
Exactly.
Cheerio piggy. Okay. Ricky, what were you thinking with this when you were coming up with the ultimate sweet?
So my option is to end up going to Goofy's Candy Company, and I always love the create your own, confection. So you can do a lot of different things. You can do your own caramel apple. You could do your own. They have like a marshmallow one, Rice Krispie treat. Usually, is that's what I usually end up getting. And it's so fantastic because it's literally like you get to pick what you want on your delicious treat. So it's the best of both worlds. You get a nice treat and you get to make it yourself. So I'm a huge fan. Whenever I'm in Disney Springs, I almost always stop at Goofy's Candy Company and get a delicious treat to take back home with me. So you can also choose, they have like pre-made stuff too. So if you wanted like just a regular caramel apple, or if you wanted fudge, or if you wanted, just a Rice Krispie treat that they had there, or if you wanted, they have the giant cookies there too. So they have a lot of great options at Goofy's, and also, the Candy Cauldron on the other side, on the west side. But exactly. But that's a really good option, and it's really easy to take those with you to go. Because y'all know I'm putting it in my purse, so it's fine.
That's true. So you want to know a confession about that place?
Yeah.
One time, and I think I was sick with a fever, I had this
Oh, no.
dream about that place.
A fever
It
dream.
was a dream. It was a fever dream. That I went in there. You know how they have all the candies like in the cylinders on the walls?
Yeah.
So I just went in there and I pulled down all the like chutes, and like I just like swam around like in just like
Okay.
mixture of every candy. It was like sprees, it was M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, Swedish fish, and I just swam through all this stuff and like just had my mouth open like
That's
eating
a
it all.
dream.
That is a fever dream right there.
That really is. Yeah, that's a great example of a fever dream.
That's a dream.
That's
Yeah.
Willy Wonka come to life, people. Just
Yeah.
tell it. Yeah, I mean that Willy Wonka from the 70s movie, that is a fever dream. If I've
This
ever
is
seen
true.
one come to life.
Very
He
much.
scares kids. Don't do drugs. Okay, so here's my next one real quick. It is when you're looking for value at Walt Disney World, like the ultimate value, where do you think? At a restaurant, at a hotel, at a attraction? Value could be time, you only spending 5 minutes in line for the best attraction ever. So you're looking for value. So I'm going to go the other way. Ricky, you put me on the hot seat. So ultimate value, and you can determine that however you like at Walt Disney World.
Well, right now, my ultimate value is going to be different than it will be in the future.
That's fair.
Yeah. So my ultimate value at the moment is who knows how long, because it's gonna be closing and it's Trail's End. Because I know like it's they had, and granted, I will say it is not the same since it came back from COVID. It has not reopened as a buffet. My answer is when Trail's End was the buffet was when it was really like the ultimate value. But they have gone to the family style meal, And I think that's probably what ended up kind of killing it, to be honest, because the family style meal just is not the same as the buffet was. So while I'm sad that it will be closing, and it was a ridiculously awesome price, for the buffet at the time, and they had a great breakfast option buffet too. So yeah, that would have been like my initial answer. Would have been Trail's End. So it will be missed, and I know it's going to turn into like a market concept, and they'll still serve like quick service options and stuff like that. It's not the same. I'm going to miss it, but Trail's End is like my ultimate value at the moment. It's going to change here soon, but that's my ultimate value. So.
We all had this conversation via a group text with Scott, and Pam was in there too, that during COVID, they had this option where they had this basically Trails End to go, where you got a bag of food, you got fried chicken, you got,
which is probably the route that they're going to go.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was the best. I mean, I felt like I was robbing them. I was scared the county sheriff was going to come arrest me, because we got so much food, and it was like, the price we would pay if, here in St. Louis or less for that much food. It was unbelievably a great deal. Now, I doubt it comes back at that rate, but we talked about it. And if it comes back in that fashion where you can get a family meal and eat it out, on the picnic benches, out at trails, I'm fine with that. I mean, I will.
And that would be a good value at that point too, still. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see.
So.
I mean, because I do want to have access to that fried chicken, other than having to go to Hoop-Dee-Doo. Because Hoop-Dee-Doo is, I mean, it's a great show, but it's a big ask for price and time commitment. So that kind of stuff. All right, Pam, what about thinking about value? We've given you lots of time here.
I know you did give me a lot of time, and I don't know that I made the best use of it. No, but for me, I think one of the best values, and I talk about this all the time, my reasoning for it is the park hopper option. I do. I find it to be a huge value because, first of all, as I've said many times, I can't do the parks without it. I just can't. I'm not able to. It makes me feel squirrely beyond all belief. I feel trapped. I can't do it. The other reason is, though, that when I have a park hopper option, that means that I can go into a park that is staying open the latest that night after the other parks have closed, and I can take advantage of that. Or I can do things like the evening hour, the evening extended hours, whatever we're calling it, in the incarnation of this, whatever it is. I can do that too if I'm staying at one of the deluxe or deluxe villa resorts. For me, it just makes my time in the parks. It extends it. It allows me to take the most advantage of it. And I don't have to think things like, my ticket today at Animal Kingdom, well, they're closing at like 7 or whatever, sometimes they close really early and then your evening's over. No, I can hop to one of the other parks. So for me, that park hopper is the value. It is value when I'm looking at tickets.
So, that's kind of interesting that you went with the ticket option, because mine was a ticket option too. And it was basically on your Magical Way tickets, adding those days when you hit like 7, 8.
Yes.
9, 10. Because the thing is, you can, because I had a guest just at the Magic for, this kind of made me think of this just yesterday. And she's like, should I add a 10th day to my tickets? She had 9-day tickets.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, you can go to a theme park for literally like $5 or less. Now,
yes.
That's the additional cost, like per person. It's like, I think it was less than $5. I mean, absolutely. At that point, I mean, you're going to spend more for your soda or a bottle of water that day than going to the Magic Kingdom. Yes. At that point, it is such a no brainer. You don't even think about it, because they obviously Disney front loads tickets day 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it gets, way a bargain at the end. So yeah, definitely when, if you're going to be there for an extended period of time, think hard, it's worth it to go and just watch fireworks or have dinner like day 7, day 8, day 9. And it gives you so much more flexibility in your planning too. But here's what I was going to go with outside of that. A Skyliner resort is a value because it gives you unbelievable flexibility with Epcot in the studios, and it saves you time, and it also saves you stress. And I will say this because I like the buses at Walt Disney World. I have no problem with the buses because, again, I think people like me that are from the suburbs, like where the buses are kind of they're kind of like they're kind of like an attraction, right? I never ride public transit because I drive my Jeep everywhere. I live out in the suburbs. So I don't mind riding on buses and talking to people. I think that's kind of fun. But having the Skyliner at park closing is it just relaxes me. I can walk out of Epcot after the fireworks, whenever it closes, be on that Skyliner, be back at Pop Century, as long as the weather's good, and the weather's always a factor. But it's such a value add to my stay at Pop Century, Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach. If I'm I don't stay at the Riv, but if you're there, it's awesome. It's such a value add that they've added in the last 5 to 6 years that, I think that you really got to think about that and where you're going to stay. The Skyliner is definitely a great value. It adds so much more to your stay because it can save you over, say, the course of a week. I bet it saves you hours, in transportation time.
And it's fun
It's
transportation.
fun. And the kids, I love it. And the 40, something year old guy likes it too. All right, let's go around one more time. So Pam, give us when you're looking for blank at Walt Disney World.
Okay. So when you're looking for some kind of water fun, where are you going? You're going to blank. I don't really say, Mike, when you say it, it sounds so game showy. Like
it does.
It sounds like you were born to do this.
I mean, I've watched a lot of Bob Eubanks and Peter Tomarken. And,
you practice.
Yeah.
I watch Buzzer a lot in the office on Pluto TV. Just
yeah.
saying. So,
yes. Yeah. All right. So Ricky, I'm going to you first on this one.
All right, Splash Mountain. Oh no. So I am going to go with something that's maybe a little bit unconventional. And I am going to say when you're looking for water fun, you should go to the Seas with Nemo and Friends.
Oh.
And that is because they have the tanks there and you can see all the incredible fish and marine life that they have. And you can spend a good long time inside this pavilion just watching the animals swim and it's really cool to watch like the manatees eat their lettuce, and you can always see dolphins in there. And I really think that it's a great, they also have a great kids play area, and they have a scavenger hunt in there as well. It's featured around Dory, so that's an option as well. So I'm going a little unconventional with water fun, and I'm going to say that the Seas with Nemo and Friends. Now, when the Moana, the Journey to Water opens up, I think that will be my answer in the future. But for now, I'm going to go with the Seas.
I like that. I think that's a good one. I think there's lots of cool things in there. And just so many things, for people to do. I don't know that people really explore all that.
No, so much edutainment in that building.
For sure. Miss the manatees, and the manatees are so.
I know, right? I wish they would put chairs in there, although people would never leave.
They would never leave. No.
All right, Mike, how about you?
So mine is just, again, it's the moderate resorts. Because I think the moderate resorts have great pools, and you get the slides. But you also get, for the parents, kind of a nicer pool bar, whether it's like Muddy Waters at Riverside. I forget what it's called at French Quarter, but they got a nice little bar there. Over at Coronado, there's a nice bar. You got Caribbean Beach, you have what's it, Banana Hannah's Cabanas. I don't know, whatever it is. It's right there next to it. They're so themed, right? I mean, it's like a fishing hole at Riverside. You got the serpent slide over at French Quarter. It looks like, over at Caribbean Beach, looks like you're swimming through Pirates of the Caribbean attraction. And at Coronado, you got the big tower. Don't climb it, people. Knock it off. Just look at it. Watch the water come down. But you have the slide. You got the Jaguar slide. It's not extravagant, but it's enough to have a day's worth of fun. And I think that's what it's all about. It's great for a midday break. You're probably not going to stay there 8 hours, but it's a good 2-hour swimming in there, getting the parents can get a drink, get maybe a little snack there. The kids can go down the slide to their heart's content. The good news is the kids don't have to wait in line to ride these slides. Like, they can just go and wear themselves out. And as a parent, Ricky, take notes. That is a great thing. Just let them just wear themselves out on that slide because they're, it's probably only 10 or 12 kids. Let them go
Got
12
it.
times and then they're exhausted. It's awesome. But I think the moderate resort's a good place for a little water fun. So Pam, what were you thinking?
I love that. I think it is too, and I think it's interesting that you commented on the moderate resorts too, because there's some fantastic pools at the deluxe resorts too. I'm actually going to go with maybe a more obvious answer, but I'm going to tell you why. So I'm thinking about Typhoon Lagoon. And the reason is I actually prefer Typhoon Lagoon over Blizzard Beach.
Same.
Because first of all, I'm not doing that big crazy slide anyway,
Right.
so it doesn't matter to me.
By the way, on Monday's show, I talked about the time I did it with Paige. Back in the day, I was going 52 miles an hour according to the radar gun, and there's a picture on my Instagram right now showing just the cloud of dust that I'm in there somewhere, and Paige is looking at me. So
Yeah.
proof, and I'm not. I just told my wife I'm never doing that again. My body does not need to be going 52 miles an hour like on a
Without something surrounding me.
There's nothing. There's
Right.
just me and water. 52 miles an hour. No thanks.
Right. Agreed. So the thing I like, first of all, I love the theme at Typhoon Lagoon. It feels so tropical. It is the older of the two water parks, and it feels very lush in there. Like I think the greenery has had more time to grow and all of that. So I love that. I love Crush and Gusher. I love that they have that. There's lots of great seating, the lazy river, the wave pool. And I'm one of those people, I think I could spend a lot of time in a wave pool. Like I know I have on many occasions. There is something so relaxing about that. And even though you are at a theme park, it's a water theme park and it feels more relaxing. It's just a great way to take a day and not feel like you have to be in the parks doing all these things. So that would be my choice, Typhoon Lagoon.
I was with you till you said that that wave pool, Typhoon Lagoon was relaxing, dude. That thing is a pain. It brings pain when that horn goes off. People get scattered to the seven winds. Dude, I've heard little kids end up like over at Coronado Springs. It launches. They definitely end up at Disney Springs. Like one of the kids landed at Cirque du Soleil the other day. That thing is no joke. It's like, and everybody's like, run, here it comes, and it's like every 90 seconds. It's chaos, but it's fun. There's again a picture of my kid getting blasted, Paige and her good buddy Molly, right there on my Instagram. We talked about that story on Monday. Okay, Ricky, close us out. So when you're looking for blank at Walt Disney World, give us one more.
When you are looking for atmosphere at Walt Disney World, I wanted to go something a little bit, again, kind of off the beaten path here. So when you're looking for atmosphere, do you want me to go first, or do you guys do one of you want?
I have one.
Okay, all right.
Funny. So when I'm looking for atmosphere, I'm heading to the Polynesian Resort.
Got
To
it.
me, that resort in particular carries that theme in just about every inch of the resort, from the moment you arrive to the dining locations, to the music, to the foliage, to the lighting of the tiki torches at night. Everything about that resort. And the new rooms.
True.
The new rooms are fantastic and fit with that theme so well. So if I'm looking for atmosphere, I'm going to the Polynesian because I know everything about it is going to scream the Polynesian.
That's a great choice, and definitely on my list for sure. Like that's why I love the Poly so much. Is the atmosphere there just is so rich and wonderful.
I've thought that from like the very first time I walked there for my very first Disney trip. We just happened to go past the Polynesian, and I still think that even when I was there for Marathon Weekend, like it has not changed. Every time I go to the Polynesian, I'm like, this place is unbelievable.
Yep.
It's so cool.
It is cool. All right, Mike, you're up.
So here's mine. It's a new one.
Oh.
It's going to be Tomorrowland at night, but it's especially now with the new package of the Tron lighting package.
Yeah.
Next to the Space Mountain lighting package.
Yeah.
You get a little Tomorrowland background music going, and maybe some, the palm trees in Tomorrowland, the kind of electronic looking palm trees. I think
love it.
It's going to have a cool vibe, especially, coming because they've actually activated, just as we're recording today, the think it's called like the upload something or other.
Oh,
It's got a name.
yeah.
Like
They're pretty lights. They're
Yeah.
pretty lights. That's
Exactly.
all I'm gonna
the lighting package of Tron.
They're never gonna be called what they're trying to get them to be called. I'm just gonna call
Yeah.
them. Look at the pretty lights.
You know, this is the opportunity that Walt Disney World's showing off with like what lighting packages can be on an
Yes.
exterior of an attraction and interior. But what we're going to see, you know, what we talked about this with Scott on the Sunday Night Call-In show, that even if you're somebody who's not going to partake in the attraction, say, you know, it's too fast for you or it's too intense, everybody's going to win because this is going to bring the aesthetic of Tomorrowland up 10 notches. It's going to be
Absolutely.
incredible at night. And I just think atmosphere is going to be raised because somebody took a picture from the Tomorrowland Speedway of Tron next to Space Mountain at night. And I was just like, whoa, it blew me away. I was like, this is
Yeah.
awesome. This is great. So that's going to really more atmosphere to Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom coming up. So what do you think?
I agree. I think that you know, I've always loved Tomorrowland at night. I think, you know, with all the neon and everything, that's
palm
always been,
trees.
yes,
Love
the palm trees. Everything that happens in that land at night was already fantastic. And when you add Tron and that lighting package, it's just going to take it to a whole nother level. So I'm very excited to see that in person eventually. So for me, when I'm looking for atmosphere, I'm also going to the nighttime and I am going to go around World Showcase. Especially, I mean, there's almost, I mean, look, let's be honest, there's always some sort of festival going on. So you're always going to have that kind of energy going. But, you know, each of the different lands or countries in World Showcase has a different feel to it. And when you combine that all as one into that World Showcase atmosphere, there's just something so amazing about it. It's just, it takes it again to the whole other level. You know, I miss, of course, the old, you know, music that they played, but you know, it's especially later at night before the fireworks, but you still have some fun stuff going on there too. So I really love the atmosphere of walking around there at night. Plus it's not blistering hot usually at that point. So I'm not like feeling like I'm walking on the sun most of the time while walking around World Showcase at that point in the evening. So I really love World Showcase's atmosphere at night, just in general. It's fantastic.
It is. I mean, there's something to be said. It's just Walt Disney World at night, but especially Epcot. Oh.
Yeah.
And now with the Spaceship Earth and the lighting package.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Best thing to happen out of the 50th anniversary. Yes.
Amazing. I mean,
Yes.
it adds to World Showcase because you're looking across the lagoon and you're just like, wow.
It adds to Walt Disney. I mean, heck, you can see that thing lit up, you know, like you're on the Skyliner, or the airplane or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's beautiful. It's
you're
awesome.
gonna see that thing lit up. Yeah.
Well, hey, we're going to continue this on the social media. So here's what I would love this weekend, because I'll be, you know, at a basketball arena. I'll be at a Drury Inn in Springfield, Missouri. So at Be Our Guest Mike, here's how you play the game. And I promise I will answer. Ricky will try. Pam will try as well. If they can't, well, Pam will be out at sea, but we'll see.
Well, yeah.
All you got to do is say, when you're looking for blank at Walt Disney World, and you throw out the blank and I'll give you an answer and I'll give you something. Yeah. So, you know, you can play the game with us. Or Sunday night, Scott and I will be on the air, Facebook and YouTube, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. No football game this weekend. So join us and we'll continue this conversation. So if you have something you want to add to the show, we'll just continue the game right there. So join us Sunday night. We'd love to have you. Facebook and YouTube, Sunday night. Don't forget, our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We are standing by right now. So if you plan an amazing Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip. And right now, again, I talked about this on Wednesday. Now's the time to get that Walt Disney World trip on the books for this spring or this summer, because you can save money on your dining. You can get one of those Disney dining cards with select packages. And again, the room discounts are amazing, especially if you're looking for like a moderate or deluxe resort. You can save big money there. So just come by, check out the details. Just fill out a quote form. Let us know when you want to travel, who's going, what kind of tickets you might need. We'll do the math for you. We're like Disney CPAs. We're like little sleuths. We'll find out the best deal for you, and then you can just not worry and just get ready to have a great vacation. That's what we do for no cost to you, by the way, too. So just swing by the website, themagicforless.com, fill out the quote form. We'll take it from there. We'll see you over at the website again, themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link as you shop online. That one extra click really does help support everything we do. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of the show. You make all these shows possible. Couldn't do it without you. And our patrons get that bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Come on over and join us. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give us a follow on the social media. Ricky's at Ricky Nibs, RIKKINIBS. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. Would love to talk to you on Instagram and Twitter this weekend. All right, time to get out of here. Let you get on with your weekend. Whatever you're doing, we hope you have a great one. Thank you, as always, so very much for supporting our show, for taking the time to listen and hang out with us. We appreciate that so very much. So for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
Boom.
Yay.
See what I can do with this.
All right. Good luck, Mike.
Right.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Bye,
See ya.
guys. See you later.
Bye.
Pam, have so much fun.
Thank
Okay, bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.